Why do we care? Honestly, let's think about this. Why do we, regular people with jobs, bills, and real life problems, spend even a second of our finite time on this earth worrying about what a movie star thinks about tax policy or what a pop singer is wearing to the gala? For decades, Hollywood was our Mount Olympus. We looked up at these gods because they were distant, polished, and unreachable. But something broke. The veil didn't just slip, it was shredded. We're living in an era where the heroic icon has been replaced by the identity brand. And frankly, the world is getting bored with the performance. Welcome back to Perspectives of Jerry. Today, we're doing some archaeology of self on our own obsessions. We're going to dig into why we worshipped celebrities and why that worship is dying. And whether the woke shift in Tinseltown is actually the nail in the coffin for the all-star or the A-list star. Now, as always, before we dive into the data, if you appreciate these raw, unfiltered, street-level philosophies of my own making, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my content. All right, well, let's get into it, shall we? To understand why it's waning, we have to understand why it even started. It's called a parasocial relationship. A study published recently in Behavioral Science in 2025 found that individuals with vulnerable narcissism or high anxiety are significantly more likely to form intense, one-sided bonds with celebrities. Why? Well, it's because a celebrity is a safe target for our emotions. They can't reject you. They can't argue with you, and they're a canvas where we can project our own identities. We used to view stars like Humphrey Bogart or Audrey Hepburn, the polished titans of the studio system. They were distant. Um, you know, they were icons in a real world, managed by publicity machines to ensure that we only saw their prestige and talent. But today, well, according to research from the Journal of Media Psychology, the standard has shifted from this prestige-based celebrity to the dominance-based celebrity. Fame today isn't about admiration. It's about volume. Just being noticed because you are the loudest in the digital room. But here's the street-level truth of it. That obsession was built on distance. The less we knew about them, the more we could imagine they were perfect. Social media killed the mystery. When you see a multi-millionaire filming a TikTok in their marble kitchen telling you we're all in this together while you're struggling with the price of eggs, that illusion doesn't just fade, it curdles like 2-week-old milk. So this brings us to the platform. You may have asked if the obsession is waning because they now have megaphones to launch poorly educated opinions. Short answer, yep. According to a 2024 Edelman Trust Barometer, try saying that 5 times fast, public trust in traditional authority is at an all-time low. Celebrities tried to fill that vacuum, but there's a phenomenon called source credibility effect. For a message to be persuasive, the person saying it needs to be perceived as an expert. So when a celebrity speaks on complex geopolitics or economics, they often lack enterprise. A 2022 Pew Research Center survey found that 72% of Americans say that celebrity endorsements make zero difference in their vote. In fact, only 6% said it made them more likely to support a candidate. We are seeing the elite gap in real time. The more they use their platform to lecture, the more they alienate the people who just want to be entertained. Um, from from a Jedi realism perspective, they lack balance. They've traded the hero's journey for political lecture, and the audience is hitting the skip button. Now we can't talk about this without talking about the woke phenomena. So the woke area is the shift towards social justice ideology in Hollywood, and we're asking, is it doing more harm than it is good? If we look at the archaeology of this, the intent might have started to as a pursuit of progress. Progress is good, but in practice, it often becomes performative activism. A 2026 report on pop culture and accountability noted that audiences are increasingly skeptical of surface level statements. So when a studio prioritizes the message over the story, they break the fundamental contract with the viewer. Stories are supposed to be universal truths, what Jung called collective unconscious. So when you replace universal archetypes with modern political checkboxes, the story loses its soul. It stops being about the archaeology of self for the viewer, and it starts to become a lecture. And I'll tell you this, after, with several degrees and a lot of lecture time, I am really tired of being lectured at. The harm comes when celebrities use their massive platforms to shame the very audience that pays their bills. That's not leadership. That's a power up. Or I should say a power trip, either or. And we see the results in the box office, falling follower counts of the legacy stars. The more they talk, the more people don't want to watch their material. People are moving towards creators who are authentic and raw rather than scripted and scolding. As far as like influencers go, I mean, I honestly get my movie reviews from Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, WD Pro, whichever, before I'll even think to look at Rotten Tomatoes and their expert scores. Sorry, guys, that ain't real. That's money paid shilling. So you have to ask yourself, where does this leave us? Well, the era of the untouchable Hollywood star is dying. And the era of the content creator, well, that's taking its place, for good or ill. Marketing data from Influencer Marketing Hub 2025 shows that 61% of consumers now trust creator recommendations over traditional celebrity ads. Why is that? Well, because I'm talking to you from my room or my office or on the street. There's no B-roll here. There's no filtered lighting. That's all natural sunlight you're seeing off to the right side of me here. That's just it. It's truth, and that's truth as I see it. And I've bought more products watching ads from YouTube videos that I unfortunately can't skip than I have from celebrities. Whether it's a new multivitamin or it's the Element drink or a couple of other things that I'm like, that looks like it'd be pretty cool. Actual people using it. Even if they are paid actors, they still look like regular people. So that's the truth as I'm seeing it, is it's not real. The obsessions are shifting from what is that star doing to who's providing me with the actual value to my daily life. We're moving back towards competence and authenticity, and we're looking for some kind of martial discipline and not red carpet vanity. So, folks, the idols are falling. And maybe that's not a bad thing, a good thing, maybe. Maybe it's just time we stop looking at the stars on the screen and start looking at the archaeology of our own lives. Something to think about. So, If this perspective resonated with you guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my other awesome content. And of course, if you want to help me just a little bit more, there's a link down in the description for buymeacoffee.com. Every one of those little coffees helps me keep the lights on here, keeps me caffeinated, and helps me keeps these street level philosophies and perspectives rolling out towards you. All right, folks. Make sure you stay patient. Make sure you stay balanced. I'm Jerry. This has been our Perspectives of Jerry. You guys have a great day. I will see you in the next one.